I've been in emergency services for 17 years now, so just seeing the evolving technology, I think it is great. I think it's really important, really being able to look at how things are happening, where things are happening. We're just going live now with data analytics. You're looking at that and you're really being able to look at data and, when we're implementing a new radio system and, being able to see where a majority of your calls are to identify, hotspots. And it's, looking at car accidents and where they're occurring or call types and where they're occurring, so technology is just so really important now, and having those statistics, and it really helps us justify the changes that we want to make.
From Tyler Technologies, it's the Tyler Tech Podcast, your source for insightful conversations with thought leaders addressing the pressing issues in our communities. I'm Josh Henderson, and I'm on the corporate marketing team here at Tyler. Thanks for joining us. In each episode, we dive into the essential topics shaping our society and shed light on the individuals, places, and technologies empowering the public sector. If you like what you hear, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and review, subscribing on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and recommending the show to others. On today's episode, we're joined by Everett Erichsen. Everett is the director of the Ulster County Department of Emergency Services in New York State. And today, he shares the remarkable journey of their emergency services implementation of a text to 911 solution. We'll hear all about the daily challenges their communication center faces in preserving life and property, and how the ability to text during an emergency has been a game changer in the county. We'll explore the immediate benefits this technology brought to their team, from enhancing their ability to locate individuals in distress to improving overall coordination and efficiency. Everett also discusses the broader implications for public safety, including benefits for the hearing impaired and those involved in domestic disputes. This was a truly insightful conversation about how Ulster County is leveraging next-gen technology to enhance emergency response and ensure community safety. We hope you enjoy this episode. All right, Everett, thank you so much for joining me on the Tyler Tech Podcast today. I've already been talking to you a little bit about this, but our whole staff is really captivated by some of the stories that you've sent to us from Ulster County, involving the text 911 solution that you all implemented. Can you sort of describe for me the initial challenges your 911 center faced before implementing the text 911 solution?
Yeah, sure. So, I think that it's important to look at holistically, Tyler has all this great technology, right? And, public safety, what can we do to provide the best services to ensure when anybody needs to reach out, we can get them the resources they need. Because when they're calling 911, they're reaching out to 911, it's most likely the worst day of their life, So at times we were receiving a text to 911, but we weren't able to respond, and we would, call that number where we're receiving a text from, they may not answer. And it kind of you're in limbo, what's actually happening here, how do we get them the assistance that they need? So, in New York, we don't, we really haven't moved to that next gen 911 yet. So we needed to really find a software that we could use to start meeting these needs. Technology is changing, the way people communicate is changing. And, you walk around, everybody's texting, and that's a majority of it nowadays. People don't even want to be on the phone. They don't want to call, they want to text. So, that was a need that we felt we needed to meet.
That's great. And now, like I said, you offered us a couple of stories after implementation, success stories, if you want to call them that, stories where it helped an individual out. So can you walk us through a couple of the incidents Ulster County has experienced so far and how that solution has really made a difference?
Yeah, so, we went live last year with Text 911 through in digital and Tyler interface, and really very successful. Looking into it, we were told by, our other partners, our other agencies out there, you're not going to really see a huge increase. It's more of you're texting back, just confirming that it was a misdial because it was a hang up 911 call. And realistically, that's not truly the case. Just last year, we have 100 incidents where we used text to 911, not just outgoing text to confirm misdial, actual conversation where it was a 911 incident. So the numbers are there. And I think that's just, again, a change in, what we're seeing with how people communicate in today's day and age. But right after our soft go live, we did receive initially a phone call, third party, from a mother who stated that her daughter was supposed to be at a basketball game, wasn't there, and was in trouble. So we had a number. We tried calling. They picked up, but it was an open line. We really couldn't hear what was going on. And then the line went dead, and the daughter had actually started texting us. So we started responding by text, and we were able to obtain a lot of information of actually where she was, what was actually going on. She had locked herself in a bathroom. She was being harassed, and she was scared. So we were able to dispatch emergency responders to the scene of where she was and get her the help that she needed. It resulted in an arrest, so obviously she was in some type of danger, So that was right after our soft go live, we wanted to make sure that there was no bugs or anything like that. This is new to us. We just gone through our training. It was really new to the community. And to me, that was like a great success story right at the beginning.
Yeah, it really speaks to, obviously people might use it for instances where they don't necessarily need to use it, but in cases where it's absolutely imperative that they use it because they're in danger if they are heard, things like that. It's really important. All right, so Everett, I understand too, you had an example of something that happened recently where you kind of flipped the text to 911, so where you were, on the communication side, you were utilizing the solution.
Yeah, we had an instance a few weeks ago where our phone system had temporarily gone down, right? And a little nerve-wracking, like how we're going to take calls. So we were still able to identify the calls coming in through Rapid SOS, which we have integrated through Tyler. So we were able to identify that call coming in, and then we used text 911 to text back, right? So call came in, the dispatcher recognized the call coming in through Rapid SOS, and they immediately initiated a text back to find out exactly what the emergency was. So definitely beneficial to us to have like additional plan, when it was a total loss of the system. Although that it was temporary, just, knowing that you're not going to miss anything, during that gap is so important.
Yep. Obviously not an ideal situation, but a situation that you're able to handle because of this.
But again, it's the technology is there. Yep. It's how do you make the technology operational for you, right? And the situations that you get put into, it's just not, like you said, it's just not, okay, it's there. People can text us now. How do we use it operationally to really benefit the public as a whole?
Now, let's move over to the communication centers side of things. So from your perspective, what immediate impacts did you observe in the communication center's efficiency and effectiveness after the implementation happened?
It really came down to having the ability to answer those texts that were coming in, so that was really, really huge. Coming to the training, it was not a big lift at all. We trained them on shift, our CAD administrator, and I have an amazing team, from my deputy director who runs the 911 center, Andrew Cafaldo, Lisa Conklin, who's our CAD administrator and trainer. They really they work with our people. They make sure that they're successful in everything that we do. So having an amazing team is that's number one, being able to do that. And then when you bring in this technology and really having the staff that's willing to accept the technology too, sometimes, you have to deal with that. And they were all very accepting of the technology. And I think a lot of them felt too, is when these texts were coming in and we didn't have the capabilities to answer them, I think that was worrisome to them as well. So I think they were all in favor of it. They were happy to see this happening, and then being able to really answer them and really follow through on what was going on and really helping those that in need.
Yeah, that's something we often hear is how important it is for the team to actually have the open-mindedness.
Yep.
Maybe that's not the right word, but
the buy-in.
The buy-in, to be we're willing to take on a new technology, take on a new solution. If it's better for, the overall outcome of our day-to-day, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of the Tyler Tech Podcast. Hi, podcast listeners. My colleague Jay Champion and I are here to let you know that City Hall Selfie Day is quickly approaching, and it's time to start brainstorming innovative ways for you and your organization to participate.
That's right, Josh. City Hall Selfie Day is Thursday, August 15th, and is organized by the Engaging Local Government Leaders Association, also known as ELGL. They created this fun event for people who work in and with local government.
And here at Tyler Technologies, we're all about empowering those who serve the public. So we wanted to make sure you knew about this special day so we can celebrate you.
I might be a little biased, Josh, but I think City Hall Selfie Day is one of the best days of the year. We love seeing all your smiling faces and selfies that showcase your love for local government.
And it's so easy to participate. Just take a creative picture of yourself or a group photo in front of a local government building like a city hall, then post it on social media with the hashtag CityHallSelfie.
And don't forget to tag Tyler Technologies on social media so we can see all your fantastic selfies too. ELGL will be awarding prizes in different categories, including the funniest selfie, most creative, and many more.
For some ideas of innovative pictures and poses, check out our show notes for links to examples and go to elgl.org/cityhallselfie for more info. Get those cameras ready and show off your local government pride on City Hall Selfie Day. Now let's get back to the Tyler Tech Podcast. I want to talk about, like, in the case of involving multiple agencies in this scenario, how did the technology facilitate better coordination and information sharing?
So we're really big in Ulster County with interoperability. I mean, we went to a county-wide system back in 2018 is when we went live with Tyler. We've been a Tyler customer forever. I mean, from the AS400 days. I mean, so a really long time. Yeah. But in 2018, we went live with a CAD system, law enforcement records, fire records, mobility. I mean, we have the suite, right? And it's throughout the entire county. All our fire, police, and EMS agencies are using our system. And then our surrounding counties, we use CAD to CAD. And that's really where we see, we see with the interoperability in text and 911, we're inputting the information, those texts, like they carry right over into CAD, right? So now everybody's seeing what's actually happening and they have good information, live information on what's going on. And, recently we had another instance where we had taken a text, the individual texting us was in trouble. They were in a vehicle, they were moving, and they were going into our adjacent county. And, we were able to transfer the call by CAD, doing CAD to CAD. And then while we were continued the text messaging back and forth, the other county was able to see all the updates, right? And they were able to dispatch the appropriate resources, do a vehicle and traffic stop, and handle the situation. Yeah. So I think, again, there's all this great technology. How do we use it, and how do we, make it operational for public safety?
Yeah, hugely important. I'm curious to get your take on how the community has responded to the introduction of text to 911. I know you mentioned to me before we started recording that a lot of people assumed it was a thing already before it was implemented. So just walk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, looking at technology in today's day and age, you see, people, they're texting nonstop, right? A lot of people don't even want to talk on the phone anymore. Like, oh, I'll just text you, they don't want to have that phone conversation. So I think it was assumed we were getting text messages and we weren't able to respond, so, we put this out. We didn't hear a lot back about it. We didn't see we saw a little bit of an increase. We always recommend that you call 911 rather than text 911. Calling is obviously the best way to notify anyone that you have an emergency. But there's those situations where they can't talk on the phone, right? And having the ability to today's day and age, 2024, to really provide that to them and being able to get help when they need it, when they can't physically speak, is very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And sticking to the community aspect of it all, it's also an accessible solution, right?
Yeah.
It speaks to the accessibility of the technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard anything from, for example, like the hearing impaired community or anything like that about the implementation, or what have you heard from the community aside from that?
Nothing from the hearing impaired. I really haven't heard anything there. Few, oh, it's great that you have this, we thought that you did have it, so that's really where it stood. It wasn't like, again, I just think that so many people assumed that it was there and it wasn't, so,
and now.
Yeah,
absolutely. Are there any future enhancements or additional features you're looking forward to implementing in your communications? Like, what are there still any challenges in the solutions that you hope to overcome?
I think to me, interoperability is the biggest thing. Ulster County has 48 fire departments, 13 police agencies, and 17 EMS agencies, right? So there's a lot of different things happening. New York State has home rule, so you have each individual agency has their own authority, their own authority having jurisdiction. So trying to get everyone to work together and really using the Tyler systems that we have, the modules that we have, has really brought everyone together to really share information, which at the end is safety for the public, but also safety for the first responders. Everything's been very beneficial to, things that we've implemented. Obviously Tyler always has new stuff coming out. So we're always looking to see what's happening and how can we make our systems better. Next gen 911 for 911 centers for those that don't have it is huge. In New York State, we're really working towards that now. That's a whole larger picture, but those are the things that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah. Probably should have asked this off the top, but I'm curious, the amount of time that you spent at Ulster County, how significant has the implementation of just technology in general been in your experience?
I mean, it's been huge.
Yeah.
It's been huge. I mean, I've been in emergency services for 17 years now, so just seeing the evolving technology, I think it is great. I think it's really important, really being able to look at how things are happening, where things are happening. We're just going live now with data analytics. You're looking at that and you're really being able to look at data and, when we're implementing a new radio system and, being able to see where a majority of your calls are to identify, hotspots. And it's, looking at car accidents and where they're occurring or call types and where they're occurring, so technology is just so really important now and having those statistics. And it really helps us justify the changes that we want to make. When it comes to budget season, when I can pull this data, it's tremendously important. It really helps me, do my job.
I just want to ask you one last question. I think this has been really valuable, the insights that you provided us today. Curious what strategies you're going to use. I guess it's still a relatively new thing that if we're speaking directly to the text to 911 implementation, but what strategies do you believe Ulster County should be using or are using to increase public awareness of the implementation?
Of the implementation? I mean, when we first went live with it, we started hitting really social media. Social media is a really big thing today's day and age, right? So we had put that out on social media. We let people know. We always put a disclaimer at the bottom. The best way to contact us is by phone. Mm-hmm. But in the situation where you can't, we do have this capability. We keep on talking about it. I mean, even when we receive a text 911, the initial response is, where are you? What's happening? Are you able to call 911? Please do so. We put that in there just because it's so much easier to get information. It's a lot quicker, but you have to have those backups. It's so important to have, those plans B's and C's all the way to Z to really provide the services to the public. It's all about them at the end of the day.
I think that's the perfect place to end that. Thank you so much,
Yep,
Everett.
no problem.
Thanks for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation with Everett Erichsen. If you'd like to learn more about the benefits of public safety solutions and other topics discussed throughout the episode, check out our show notes for more resources. A modern digital infrastructure allows the public sector to adapt in the digital age. From operational agility to data management and analytics, as well as cost savings, security, compliance, and scalability, governments are poised to take advantage of innovative technology to create more efficiencies in their systems and better support and connect their communities. Tyler creates solutions made exclusively for the public sector and has experts with government experience ready to support you on this journey. I hope you're excited about what the future holds and will reach out to us at podcast@tylertech.com to connect with a subject matter expert if you'd like to learn more. And whether it's emergency services or a modern digital infrastructure or something else entirely, we want to hear from you about what you'd enjoy hearing more of and how we can make the Tyler Tech podcast even better. Fill out our audience survey in the show notes today to let us know how you heard about the show and your ideas for future episodes. And don't forget to subscribe to the show and rate and review the podcast. For Tyler Technologies, I'm Josh Henderson. Thanks for joining the Tyler Tech podcast.